So please join me in welcoming Mr. Mason Chin, co-founder and CTO of Skytopia.
好，谢谢大家。我的演讲可能会以中文来演讲，抱歉。对。
Thank you. First of all, self-introduction. I'm a co-founder of Skytopia. And right now in Skytopia, I'm in charge of different technologies and technological explorations. And today, I'm going to talk about Skytopia. Of course, what you can see is primarily about the games that we're doing, but today we're going to talk about some of our thoughts on AI. So it is a game utopia enabled by AI. Well, it is already quite. So it is called network state. So what is a network state? Lately, Vitaly already had very heated discussions with other practitioners about network state. And they also wrote a book about this. So this book is about the digital currencies and the infrastructure that we have right now for the network. So in the future, we're going to have some sovereignty or sovereignty modes based on this. So how do we view this network state? We believe that this is just like a metaverse, and decentralized network of organizations. And we believe that they're not only visual, but also immersive, but they're operated on chains. But right now, if we talk about network state, if we want to live there, if we want to work there, it is still too early. But for entertainment, we already have very mature habits or behaviors and experiences, and our Skytopia just wants to give us very free, immersive kind of places for our players. So in the process of building this network state, there are several issues. First of all, productivity. In the real world, the productivity is actually very material, as we can see, and physical. But in virtual worlds, it is more about content. So it's about, for example, digital products. And in these several days exhibition, we have quite a lot of content creators. But no matter it is games or metaverse products, this is about the growth. So how to grow users and how to grow productivities. And productivities or productivity growth will actually limit the growth of users. That is because content creation itself is very highly demanding. The threshold is very high. So this is why the Web2 companies and a lot of content creators need to use a lot of lead time to do the production. It will take several months, sometimes even years to do this. But right now, what we can see is right now, some projects are making a lot of efforts to use UGC to provide users with different tools so that they can be part of this creation of content, making sure that the content ecology can grow organically. Even though with those efforts made, within the current products, the UGC tools are still difficult for users without any creation experiences or for any layman. So the key point is how to improve the productivity. So of course, AI and UGC can be put together, therefore the threshold can be lowered. So more people can be part of creation of content, making sure that the content creation can be more sustainable. And the second issue is the assets, game assets. So if the virtual or game assets, when assets are combined with games, there are going to be a lot of speculative behaviors. For example, in last round of games, that is game 5, those are very important issues, including, for example, speculation and the tokens values, overpriced values. So I just want to say that to start with, we should envision this kind of crisis simply because of shortage of tokens. We want to delay that. We also want to we also want to delay this kind of cycle. So in the Web3 applications, for a lot of PIP and NFT projects to early on, it is pretty easy to reach consensus. Once the consensus is there, because application scenarios are very limited, then we simply don't have sustained productivity. And because the ecological system itself is not very stable, that is because of the liquidity of assets. A lot of products do not have quite important module, which is social network kind of module, and that can be quite important for conversion rate and retention rate. So these are the areas we need to explore more. So there are several issues we want to look at. First of all, we have AI, and because we have LL models that can help us bring down the threshold of content creation so that we can improve the productivity. It is not just about ChatGPT, which can chat, but it has some general intelligence. So this kind of reduction ability or reducibility of the big models can help us finish different tasks, including creation some intelligent characters and roles, and setting up some scenarios and backgrounds, and create some content. Of course, that can also help us design some game rules. And meanwhile, we also have some mechanism to encourage our players to trade their assets as well. Of course, this is also related to how the game is played. Meanwhile, the blockchain-based rules will also encourage players to have some core assets, which can boost our players to also trade their assets with other players. So this is our core product, Skytopia. And I believe that some of you have already seen our demo. We have already played quite a lot of demos, and right now I'm going to play one of our demos. So this is Sky City. It is a city, of course. It is a common place, and players can interact with one another here. They can also play games with one another. So Skytopia has 2,000 plus cities, just like this one. And most of the cities will be given to our users so that they can be part of content creation. And we actually develop 5 to 10 cities like this one. So it is called Party Blenue. It is a kind of a very popular way of playing for our players, and different Sky cities have different ways of playing, including RPG, including cards, and including different other ways of playing. And what's more important is that we also want to embed some socialization functions in our games. So first of all, we want to provide a special space for our customers, to our users. For example, we have playing ground, we also have bars, we also have bakeries. So those scenarios are for people to interact with one another, because we believe that social interactions happen in different places. Therefore, we have the specialized spaces for socialization. And we also have game clouds. So our users can use their voices to interact with other users. And meanwhile, in our games, we also have quite a lot of competitive and cooperative kind of modes for players. Another quite important part is related to AI, because we use AI or AI agents to make sure that users can be part of the content creation within Sky Cities. For example, we provide them with some mini programs with which users can create some very similar scenarios or settings with important keywords and setups. And they can also create some more intelligent characters with personalities that they want. So the characters will be more intelligent, will be more responsive, will be more vivid. For example, you can talk to the character. And meanwhile, we can also provide our users with tools to generate plots. For example, you can just write a piece of plot, and then the plot description can generate a series of cartoons and animations, and that will be very helpful for players to play and create content. And as for game rules, so this kind of agent can be more complicated for different games. The rules are different. And those rules are very different in terms of logic, even though within the same category, the games can be played very differently. So we actually started with vertical games, and then we gradually expanded our game agents. So we started with the party agents. That is because the party games are very simple. It is more about interactions. It is more about different, for example, portals. So once we have the scenario generator, then it's very quick to generate a whole game. So this is our UGC ecosystem. There are three parts. Skytopia is the fundamental setting. So this is a big world where everyone can interact with one another. There are thousands, even tens of thousands of cities, and sky cities are very big. And Skyland is a private place for our users. So there are some more private interactions for users, more customized functions there. So how to really put more users on our Skytopia? Of course, by giving them some editors. So AI functions will be embedded in the editors, so the users can use the editors to develop their own space. And the space design will be synced to space servers. So the content and games can be deployed there. And other users, of course, can also experience the games created by those players, okay? And the very last one is how do we build the economic system here? Because when it comes to liquidity of assets and how to make sure that assets are owned by our players, there are several characters. First of all, we have our team. We can provide different AI agents to our players so that they can be part of content creation. So they can be Sky City Mayor, and those agents can be used for content creation or game creation. And they can also give those assets to different players as incentives. And average users will get a passport, and they can also become mayor as well. And we also have the Skyland owners. They're also quite important. They can govern the system. They can also vote for the governance of the system. So it boils down to the prosperity of different cities based on, for example, the frequency of transactions and the volume of transactions. The larger the numbers are, the bigger the city is, and the more prosperity the city is. So based on this, different players and different developers will build different mechanisms to facilitate transactions. And this is a very positive incentive when the mayor wants to develop or issue some assets. Of course, some assets must be collateralized. So the more assets are collateralized, the more prosperous the city is. Of course, they also have power to vote. So in the end, the ecological system is about the prosperity. So let's look at our market strategy. In
Regarding while collaborating with the Web3 IPs, we introduce new IPs to our games. Omra is one of our partner for Web3 IP. We introduce new roles in our games, and the users of our community can also have some privileges in the games. And we'll also introduce the users from our communities. That one means we will create more user scenarios for our IPs, and we will have better user growth. At the same time, we can also introduce our IPs to other metaverse projects. Swaga is one of our partner from Japan. This is one of our crocodile. Lucky, you have taken notice of it. Do at the booth. Our marketing strategy is that we have IP empowerment. We collaborate with different IPs to introduce new NFTs or roles in our games, and we'll introduce our approaches and scenarios to them. We have over 10 original IPs and over 50 IP partners. Like HAPE, we would like to establish more collaborations. We would like to introduce HAPE in our ecosystem. I would like to walk you through about this video. Last but not least, I would like to introduce our team, Alex, Edwin, and Mason. I'm Mason. We began to do this project since August of last year. And I will not elaborate on the details, and we can have more communication after the session. Our product teams are from LET, EATS, NVIDIA, and also FunPlus. This is all my presentation. Thank you for listening.